Today we will be working on landforms of Wisconsin. Wisconsin has 5 major landforms: the Lake Superior Lowland, the Northern Highland, the Central Plains, the Western Upland, and the Eastern Ridges, the Eastern Ridges and Lowlands. That's where we're located, on the east side of Wisconsin, on the southern east side of Wisconsin. Hello boys and girls, we are working on an art project that relates to the state of Wisconsin and its 5 landforms. So boys and girls, you'll have a template, which is an outline of the state of Wisconsin. You may have it in Seesaw or you may have it on paper. And what I'd like you to do is either use your pencil or your digital pencil or marker to start breaking this up into the 5 landforms. The first one we're going to work on is the Lake Superior Lowland, which is the upper part. And what you need to do is make a little mark here, a little bit down from the edge of the state over to kind of the top up here. And it's a really simple little landform. Some people actually draw it a little bit farther down. On maps, it's a little different. Maybe I'll cut it over here. Not up here, sorry. This map was confusing that I'm reading from. So this is going to be the Lake Superior Lowland, right at the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a marker. Made a mistake already. A little bit down, and it kind of swoops down. There we go. I'm not asking for perfection here. This is an artist rendering of the map. And that's our first section. Now each section is going to be colored in a different color. You don't need to color right now, but I just want to show you. Each section, which will be 5 sections, are going to be colored in a different color. So this one will be blue, and it's pretty small. Later we'll be cutting this state out and attaching it to another surface. And not only do I want you to make it a color, I'd like you to layer a pattern over it. And I think in this pattern, I'm going to start simple and just make these little dash lines. You could do little circles, you could do zigzags, you could do a blended color with another blue, maybe triangles or grapes or whatever you'd like to set up your pattern, but you want it to repeat throughout the entire section. Okay, the second section. I think I'm not going to work up here because it gets kind of complicated in the middle. So let's work on this side. We live right down here on the bottom of the state, on the east side in Milwaukee. Well, what I'd like you to do is go over from the bottom a little bit, make a little mark, and then way up here past Green Bay, up here where this little inlet, make another mark. Now, this is going to be the Eastern Ridges and Lowlands. So what happens over here is you go up a little, go back in, keep going up, turn, and now we're going to make some kind of wavy lines all the way to the edge. And this is our Eastern Ridges and Lowlands. And I'm going to outline it with a marker so you can see it a little bit better. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is an artist rendering. And I'm going to erase my original lines. I'm not going to worry if I go over the edge a little bit because I know I'm cutting this out. Of course, this would be a different color, so I might choose purple and blueberries or hearts. All right, next one. Let's try, how about this Western Upland. It's on the west side of the state, and it takes a big chunk and it goes up, 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 and there's lots of wiggly lines going over and cutting over. So on this side, we have to go down a little bit, go around this little corner, keep going down, 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 and we can start right under this little thing that looks like a nose. Make a mark right there. Now the other part of the Western Upland is way down here, but it also has a little connection up here, so we're going to go up and over, and from this point we're just going to go over. So we're not going to make a straight line over, we're going to go down and up and down. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go over a little bit, drop down, make a little bitty like a little hill shape, and then go back down and do a couple little zigs and a zags, and then we're going to end up over here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Mine is definitely not exactly like the map, but we're not using this map as a traveler, so I think it'll be okay if it's not exactly precise. But we just want to get the feel for this section of the state called the Western Upland. This Western Upland is going to be a different color, and this one will be a different one. So, boys and girls, just so you can see the differences, I'm going to add a little yellow in here, so you know, and you can see it more clearly when we divide the last chunk of land. And we just need one more line, and then we're going to have the 5 different landforms of our great state of Wisconsin. So this is kind of a lemon yellow. I'm layering up my color. Maybe you're using colored pencil. Maybe you are using crayons like I, and layering over with markers. But I'm just going to put my first color down because I think it's easier for you to see. All right. This half, our eastern ridges and lowlands where we are, I'm going to make pink. I still have not added my pattern yet, but I will. I'm going up, I'm going around. Okay, now we have to just divide the last 2 landforms, and it kind of goes a little bit down like that, and then it goes back up like a V shape, kind of like a V this way, and it ends right here where that eastern ridges ends. So it's going to be kind of like this V shape that goes in and out and wiggles back and forth. So I'm just going to make a little bit of a mark here. It starts right at the bottom of this ledge. So here's my first mark. And this is going to be the central plane, going down, 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 and back up again, way up here. So I'm going to make a mark over here. And I'm going to go down, almost like a little finger, and curve back up again. And I'm going to meet this line. Whew, this one's the really wild, wavy line. So here's my central plane. I'm going to go out, and then a little bit up, and then I'm going to dip down and keep following this shape down. Not perfect, but that's okay. So this is divided the last two landforms. These are the Northern Highlands. This is the Central Plain. And of course we have the Western Upland, the Eastern Ridges and Lowlands, and Lake Superior Lowland. So now I'm going to erase this little piece that went over the edge. And I'm going to add my line, and then I'm going to add my colors and pattern. Please think about your pattern. Be interesting. You're doing bands of color. Remember, a pattern repeats. It keeps repeating. Hello, boys and girls. I have some examples of different types of patterns you could use in your imagery. Just enjoy yourself.